Welcome back to Mass Appeal. So earlier in the show, we talked Polish tradition, and now we're making a Polish favorite. You can pronounce it better than I can.
Pierogies. But they're not just a Polish favorite.
No, they're an everybody favorite.
Everybody favorite.
An
Chad
Ashley favorite,
Flazinski and Michael Poirier from Taylor's Tavern in Greenfield join us to make pierogies. Now this is a multi-step process.
Yeah, this will be the toughest one that we do here, I'm sure. It's got a lot of tradition, so there's a lot of ways that you got to do it, and a very specific way you have to do it. So Mike's going to help you build the dough.
Yes.
And then we'll stuff it and get started.
And Mike, you worked in a bakery for a while, so you know a lot about dough.
Right.
All right.
So this is a simple dough.
Okay.
It's just 1 egg,
Start with an egg, easy enough.
half a teaspoon of salt.
Now, you said earlier that some people don't put egg in their dough. Is that right?
Right. It's kind of a split with the country.
Mm-hmm.
Egg in the dough, egg not in the dough.
Well, I've
You're
heard that
gonna-
with
Move this
pasta
over
too.
just a
Some
little
pasta
bit.
recipes
You're gonna-
have egg, others don't.
You're going to mix the salt and the egg together.
Okay.
Till it's all done. Then you're going to add the water. 1/3 cup of water, room temperature, no more than lukewarm. Then you're going to mix it all together.
What if it is more than lukewarm? Like, what if it's hot?
You're in
That'll
trouble.
be-
Your
that-
dough will end up more sticky.
And
Maybe
you'll
the-
have scrambled eggs.
Well, not exactly.
I'm kidding. This is
All right,
not
so you
really.
add a cup of flour and you mix till
All
it's
right.
all and fully incorporated, which means everything's absorbed into everything else. It's going to be sticky, so that's why we have a bowl of flour over there, so
All
we can
right.
add more till it's not sticky. You don't want it to stick to your hands, so you can work with it.
You want me to
what-
add it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
What's the dream consistency then that we're looking for?
So it's pliable, and you can work it without it fully sticking to your hands. See how it's sticky?
Sticky,
That's
yeah,
right.
okay.
So you want to do that, and then you want to knead it in.
Get dirty, Ashley.
Oh, guys,
right.
what about
Come
my
on, get dirty.
Hold on.
I can't.
You
I have
wanna
to go
mix it
interview someone
together.
very shortly.
Do you want more flour?
No, you
No?
want to mix all the flour in.
Okay.
See how it's still
It's
sticky?
still sticky.
So more
You wanna
flour.
keep working with that
You
way
wanna-
and, bring out the other dough.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
So basically,
that one.
we mold this until it's an appropriate stickiness, and then it looks something like this
Something
one.
like this magical one that we
Ah,
Magic.
TV magic right there.
It's
Okay.
just very like nervous. There's so many steps, and if you
No.
do it wrong, you won't have
Nice
pierogies.
and
You'll have.
simple.
You'll have
Something
pasta
else.
dough. Yeah. Gnocchi or something.
So we only want to work with half the dough to get started.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go ahead and use the back of the knife because the front will be bad.
Oh, wait a minute. That was a really cool tip. Why'd you use the back of the knife?
So
he
that I
wouldn't
don't
cut
ruin the front of the knife.
Oh, cool.
Right.
Oh, I thought it was you don't want to ruin the
No.
countertop.
Huh.
People usually don't worry about the countertops, but they forget about the knives.
Because you're going to
The
make it
knives
dull
are-
every time that you...
Yeah.
Smart.
And so you just want to get it out until it's going just under a 1/4 inch thick is where I put it. I mean, if you go a little less, it's great as well. I'm gonna move this. So I got
How
a
do you
little
how do you
more room
measure
here.
a 1/4 inch? You eyeball it more or less?
Unfortunately, I eyeball it. If you pick the dough up, right usually where it starts to just about to tear and you can kind of see your fingertips through it, that's usually what we're looking for.
Gotcha. All right.
So because it is so sticky, you definitely have to have a little bit of flour here and keep on it. If not, it will stick. Marble's not usually the best stuff to roll on. Usually you're looking for
You
that
are
nice-
going to make pierogies at your house. Prepare to have a messy kitchen. Is that right?
Yeah, pierogies are one of the items that definitely you're gonna get dirty with,
Yes.
unfortunately.
It's
was
not
gonna
going to
say,
be a clean project.
You know who would love doing this? Your daughter would love doing this
Oh
with you.
yes,
She very
because we
much
made Christmas
would.
cookies and that was a mess.
Oh yeah.
So I have my custom cutter here that I'm gonna cut things out with. As you can see, it's a nice glass, and this is for you guys as well. You guys can use the glass while you're cutting this out and making them all in there. So we have 2 types of filling we're gonna do today, because traditionally, my family uses cabbage, onions, and salt pork, which I have substituted bacon because salt pork has gone by the way of
was gonna
trying to
say,
be healthier.
what is salt
so.
pork?
Salt pork's usually around the same thing. It's usually a thick cut slab of bacon.
Oh,
that
like a
they
pork
get.
belly almost?
Yeah, almost like a pork belly,
right.
somewhere
Salt
around
for the
there.
curing
That sounds good to me.
process.
Onion, cabbage, and bacon.
Yeah, and
Yum.
then so I'm gonna
Oh,
fill
yeah.
this one in here, give it a little stretch
nice
so it
and
goes
stretchy.
around.
I'm glad you're doing this
Yeah.
because I always overfill.
You always overfill. Well, I got one for you. Why don't you do our
Okay.
potatoes, farmstead cheese?
Okay, here we go, Ash.
Okay, can I fill one?
Yeah.
I'm going to do it right here if that's all right with you.
Of course, of
Now, what do
course.
I do with this guy?
Here you
This
go,
one
Ash.
gets set over here.
Incoming.
Oh,
Here we go.
okay.
We're gonna make an assembly line.
Oh, we are?
Ready?
Okay.
Hey.
Okay, now what is this filling?
This is potatoes, farmstead cheese, and onion.
Potatoes,
Ooh.
farmstead cheese, and onion.
Now, actually,
worry,
go ahead
Chad.
and give it a little pull and kind of organize your center there. That way, you're not too all over the place.
There we
How's
go.
that?
I mean, that looks
It's
pretty
oozing,
good.
Not
but
bad.
That's
Not
Seth's
bad
fault.
for your first pierogi.
I blame myself for
Doing
that.
really good.
Not
Might have been
bad.
Seth's stuffing job. I mean, he likes to over things.
I'm a man who knows what I want, and what I want is extra filling. All right, Chad, let's see you do one more to show everybody at
Okay.
home. There we are.
So as I've done a little more research, I found that they make different shapes for different holidays depending on what is
Really?
going on, and that is one way that they individualize what the pierogies are and what you're making it for. So this pierogi I'm going to do in the half moon, and then I'm going to bring the two ends together, and it's going to almost make a little tortellini
I was gonna say.
as soon as I
That's
can stamp
cute.
it down. And so that's a really nice way to do them too. It kind of gives a different look to the pierogies, and sometimes they boil better. So now once they're all stuffed and filled, then we're going to drop them into the boiling water, and then there's a few more steps after that. So
Wow. Well,
Good.
let's check in with Mike. Mike, are you making the filling
I
there?
am making the bacon, onion, cabbage filling.
All right,
You
so-
start with the bacon and you want to render it. Rendering means cooking the fat out without burning it. You do that on a medium heat, a little
Okay.
bit of butter, and then I added diced onions. You can see how small they cooked, and they'll cook down more. You just want to cook them till they're translucent. Little salt and pepper will bring out the flavor, just like cooking with most other stuff. And then we have cabbage right here, which has already been steamed and cooked down. And then we'll add that at the end so it doesn't fully cook out or burn.
Love it.
Great.
All
So
right.
pretty simple. And
Yeah, we'll let you two stay on that, and we're gonna finish this up a little bit later in the show.
We are back in the kitchen with Chad Flasinski and Mike Poirier from Taylor's Tavern in Greenfield. He goes by Mike. We're gonna finish up these pierogies, right?
yes, we are. Yeah. So in the pot that I've started here, I have some melted down butter, and I started to cook a few onions just to make sure that the pan's kind of getting hot and warm. And we're gonna add the pierogies that we've taken out of the boiling water and let dry, and now they're kind of here and ready to go, and they've rested for a moment, so they'll be ready to sear up.
So
Okay.
it's like we're sautéing them in. Not only do they have flavor on the inside, we're gonna give them flavor on the outside too.
Correct.
I get
correct,
it.
Correct. And we're using butter because oil in pan spray is a little thin, so they tend to burn and stick a lot more. So I like to use butter. Not only, I mean, everybody likes butter.
Yeah, I like
Oh, who?
butter.
Yeah, and it's the holiday
It's
time.
nice
You
to
gotta
let
have
them
some
go.
butter.
Yeah, and so traditionally I do mine just with onions. Some people, once again, they add the salt pork, and some people do it with cabbage on the side there. You can also stuff pierogies dessert style with blueberries or raspberries and bake them
Cool.
and do them like that. There is about 250 variations, it was saying. So, I mean, there's quite a few. Unfortunately, my family is pretty rigid on what they do with their pierogies.
You know what it is though? You know what you like, and then you do it every year.
Yeah.
Why mess
yeah.
with tradition?
I mean, you don't really have to mess with tradition too much here.
So, quick question. You were just talking about the oil and cooking them up. Is butter have a higher cooking point than oil? Is it easier to cook in butter?
I generally think it's tougher to cook in butter because
Yeah.
it has a lower burning point than oil.
Oh, okay.
Butter usually is, I would say, probably 30 to 40 degrees below oil.
So if you're cooking something at a high temperature, you probably want to go with oil. But if you're kind of simmering it a little bit, you can butter it up.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
So
Oh,
I
that
think I
smells
gotta.
yummy.
As soon as you start to burn oil, it'll change the color of the food you cook it in as well.
No way.
Yeah, so when you start to burn the oil, it'll get darker. Your food will get darker as well.
Oh,
Did not
all
know
these
that.
things I didn't know. Yeah. Now,
Right?
if you wanted to make the pierogies and cook them, sear them at a later date, you just would. You can freeze them.
You can freeze them. Yeah. My suggestion would be not to make the pierogies more than a couple days ahead of time, and then you can set them in the fridge and hold them after they've been boiled.
So you freeze them after you boil them, not
Yeah,
beforehand.
Yeah.
No, not beforehand. The dough won't react well to the freezer.
all right.
So I have a few of these ready to go if you guys wanted to give a couple
Absolutely.
a try here.
I'm not afraid that
I
they've just
grew up,
been in incredibly hot butter either.
No,
we'll
no,
blow
it's
on
fine.
them.
It's
I
fine,
grew
it's
up
fine.
eating them with ketchup. Lots of ketchup.
Really?
I
Did
didn't
you ever
bring
do
ketchup
that?
today.
No,
No.
don't worry. I think it's gonna have plenty of flavor.
I think
Maybe
so,
the
I
ones
hope
that we
so.
had in our family weren't that good.
Yeah,
No,
we
everybody's
do
got their way to
onions
do
on
it.
there.
That's the best part
I
about
put
holiday
ketchup
tradition.
on everything.
Oh yeah,
I put ketchup on my ketchup.
she does. It's some people say you can't put too much ketchup. You can. But no, this is the
say?
best
You
part.
could be adding a fruit serving to your day.
That's see?
Right?
Thank you, Mike.
There we go
Thank
for
you, Mike.
legitimizing the way that you.
How much ketchup
There's
I
your
eat.
tortellini pierogi that we made earlier. that you like
cool.
to look, and so you can try that and give it a try.
All right, you know what we'll do?
Tell me what you guys think.
We'll be back in a little bit. Don't go anywhere because we're gonna eat some of these.
Yummy.